Tonight on World Monitor, looking for sleep in Japan. Finding work with AIDS. And what is this for?
On Tuesday, April 18th, from bureaus around the globe, this is World Monitor, a television presentation of the Christian Science Monitor. And now, John Hart in Boston.
Good evening. Japan is home to 123 million people, minus a few thousand. The few thousand are Japanese, all right, but they are not at home. In a country where 90% of the people consider themselves middle class, where the national assumption is that the national wealth is shared, they are Japan's surprise. The report from Barbara Bradley in Tokyo.
They live in the nooks and crannies of everyday life. Go to any park or side street in Tokyo, walk into any subway station, and you will surely pass by the fudosha, the floating people.
You'd see some people hurrying to work. Some young couples passing by, all quite content in their own worlds, quite happy with the fact that they can ignore this other world that they're experiencing.
Every nation has its share of people living on the street. In fact, Japan has relatively few. New York City, with about the same population as Tokyo, has 10 times as many homeless. But Japan's floating people are not like America's homeless. There are few young people or families on the street here. Most of Japan's homeless are older men. Haruko Morimoto has run a mission in a Tokyo district called Sanya for 17 years.
ああいうほら新宿とか池袋の高層建築のそれ全部この労働者たちがみんな建てたんですよ。
When coal mines closed or rice farming ended for the winter, thousands of men left their families to find daily work in the city. They raised modern Tokyo out of its post-war rubble. And if they are physically and mentally able, many are not, these men are still building. Here in Sanya, as well as in other day labor ghettos in Osaka and Yokohama, hundreds of men line up by 5 in the morning to get work for the day. The Japanese mafia, the Yakuza, act as the middlemen. Psychiatrist Masahiko Katori says it's a short step from day labor to homelessness.
空腹でもハングリーでもあるいは貧乏でもないのね、低賃金でもない、夜眠れないということが一番命を落とす。
They need sleep to work, and so many drink themselves to sleep. Yasuo Sakai came to Sanya 10 years ago. He used to work 5 or 6 days a week.
一杯飲んじゃうと、お酒飲んじゃうとね、夜になると一杯が2杯になって、2杯が3杯になって、ちょっと行きたくないなと思って、もうやめちゃって。
Many day laborers have an alternative to sleeping, say, on the stairs of the government welfare center, as Nishio Hidekuni does many a night. He has a family, but shame prevents him from returning.
だからね、やっぱり子供がね、可愛いやっぱりね、今から会いたいですよ。だから会いたいって言ってしょうがない、私が悪いんだからね。もう会えなくなる。2人いるんですよ、男と女の子はね。本当にね。本当にみんな私がこの酒で失敗しちゃった。
一人一人はみんな家へ帰りたいんですけどね、結局約束を守らないから、ふるさとの人たちあるいは妻や子供たちが田舎にいるでしょ。その人たちに本当はお金を送るためにこっち来てたわけなの。ギャンブルだとかお酒だとかね。
The government here says it doesn't have a homeless problem. Japan has only a handful of government shelters versus 5,400 in the United States. The vast majority of the Fudosha don't receive health insurance or welfare benefits because, the government claims, it doesn't know where to find them.
Everyone is taken care of as long as they have an address, but if they don't have an address, there's nothing you can do. So these people, these homeless, are sort of caught in a little bit of a bind.
And so they are bound by the rigid structure of Japanese society that has no room for misfits. They live at the periphery, the Fudosha, barely floating, almost invisible. For World Monitor, I'm Barbara Bradley in Tokyo.
When we come back, looking at Jim Wright,